Hi, Stephen. Hello, friends.
Romans, countrymen.
We are here live, coming from our small closet in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Ooh, thank you. But you are the one that is so handsome, not me.
Huh?
What?
What?
We're talking to Devin and how handsome he is.
Oh,
Whoa, Mitch.
Mitchell. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you haven't been here in a while. We
Yeah.
were talking about you last week. Oh shit, I gotta turn that thing around.
Oh, yeah. Our monitor. Boop. Yeah, we got some pretty stuff on the back now. It's not just our ugly logo. Oh, hey, a light. That helps.
Let there be light.
And Cam said,
Cam
let there
needs a
be light,
haircut.
and then slept for 15 hours.
I wish. All right. Hey team, how you doing?
Hey, we're here.
It's good to see you.
We got some stuff today.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a fun one today. We
Yeah.
got some
It's not just
lore
ranting
to
either.
talk about.
A little bit of speculation.
Oh.
A little bit of speculation.
There's definitely some ranting involved.
There's a lot of cope on Cam's side.
Listen, all right. I'll be very tempered.
He's not going to be tempered. He's lying to you. He's
I gotta
lying.
play it up for the people, but we have evidence. That's all I'm saying.
There's just a can of
There's
cope under the
evidence.
There's a can of cope under the table, and Cam has been huffing it all morning.
We'll get there. Yeah, I am. I had to wipe off my nose from all the powdered cope that I've been snorting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it'll be fine. I promise you. I make lots of promises, and
And he never fulfills.
most of them. Listen, it's not up to me. All right. I don't make the rules. I just work here, man. Yeah, So we got a little bit to talk about, a little bit of newsy news, and then we're gonna do some lore deep diving. I have this whole like notes document that I took. Look at all these notes. I have so many notes.
You did take a lot of notes. Damn.
Yeah, we've noted. I mean, it's mostly just
Copy and pasting.
like flags for me to know what to talk about, because obviously when we're referencing a piece of work, I learned this in school here in America, that you have to cite your sources.
I see.
So
Even if
it's in MLA format. I've
the-
cited all of my
a
sources.
3-paragraph bit, and we have to cite our sources.
Hey, it's a long one, dude.
Yeah, it is kind of a read.
It's a read, man. We love it. Can we get one of these every day? Thanks.
Every
day.
a book series when
It's true.
Magic does it, right?
Well, they did. Well, they might still.
Because like every
The
set.
last time I remember them having a book was for War of the Spark, and that was the one where it was like really heinous, and they like made Chandra gay, and then like took it back, and then everyone was upset, and they were like, "No, she's bi, I guess."
Discernibly male type.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
discernibly mascudon't type, I
Yeah.
believe.
No, I believe they did use the word male, which is
yeah.
way worse.
Yeah, that is
you know?
way worse.
Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Ugh.
So that's the last time I remember them making
But like,
a book.
I swear
one's
I
tough.
follow like there's people that talk about Magic on TikTok and stuff, and they're
Yeah.
always talking about these like long lore explanations of each set.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
But I don't know if it's a book or if they're just like fanfic
Well,
kind of thing.
They might still do like mothership posts. Like they used to make posts like this Grand Archive post weekly. Like there used to be a lore post like this every week. Obviously they're a billion-dollar company, so
Right.
they can afford to do that.
Correct.
Bella's just one person, so it's a little bit
Yeah. Well,
impossible to do.
she should
that,
just
but-
get on it, right?
Yeah, every week. Yeah, once a week, every week, and then we will cancel Lineage Break, and we will become a lore-only podcast, and we will only talk
Yeah.
about the lore every week.
Correct. Well, we won't cancel Lineage Break. It'll just become.
Well, we'll have to like name it something different,
Yeah, maybe I guess.
A rebranding for our lore.
I do have a
based
good
show.
audiobook voice, so
That's fair. Yeah, we should record. You reading the
yeah.
lore
We
articles.
we
Can you
should.
do the voices for the conversations?
Yeah, but I'm only gonna do deep voices.
Can't do
I
that.
I can't do high pitch.
Well, then you're out of a job. Sorry. Gotta find
see,
somebody
you guys
else.
heard it here. Canceled. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Steve. Yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about the lore because I feel like well, I don't know. I won't go on any tangents before we start the show proper, so we can get all that meat in the show. Hi, Devin. Devin, I saw that you sent me a message. I'm good. How are you? That was when I had to get up and go take a shower, and I was like, oh shit, I should go take a shower and bathe. Yeah, I don't know. What time is it? Vamp for a little bit. What's going on with you, Steve? How you been?
Same stuff every day.
Same shit.
Just working myself to the early grave.
I'm glad you're doing well. Devin, not you, Steven. Yeah, Steven not doing well.
Nah, I'm not. I'm always in shambles.
Deal. Do you Vern, what's your what kind of health insurance you got? That's like really important. I'm angling for some good health insurance, so you let me know.
He's already trying to jump ship. I already have great health insurance. He always tries to jump ship.
He won't marry me.
The moment
it's
someone
ridiculous.
else asks him to marry him, he's all on board.
Have you heard that? Ooh,
see,
look
at this. Look at this. Already.
Shit.
Jesus.
That's why you can afford to whale so much. It all makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
it
He's
does.
got that doctor money.
Yeah.
Listen, Steve, you know that Beyonce song?
If you like, put it right.
Listen, where is it? All right.
I don't know.
What's
It's
going
hard.
on,
It's hard
you
for
know?
me to want to commit if you keep jumping ship to every male doctor that jumps into our chat.
Can't blame me, you know?
You know,
Doctor, handsome.
it's a doctor or it's Sean Cronin. Like, God damn,
that guy's loaded too.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
I go where the money is.
I
Steven,
know.
you know?
God damn,
I go where the money is. Yeah.
man, that's Sean Cronin. You got him calling him daddy and everything.
That's
Yeah.
true. He asked, what am I supposed to do? You know, I must oblige.
Jesus.
Oblige him. All right. Let me pull up the newsy news. Yeah, we were talking last week about one Mitchell Irwin and how helpful it is that he posts all of the relevant news so I don't have to go find it.
Correct.
So thank you again, Mitch. We got some artists to talk about.
Ugh.
We got some Academy guides to talk about.
That's a good one.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a good show today.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
A good meaty show for you, ladies and gentlemen.
And then
And
six
then
more
next week,
6 more weeks and nothing.
hey, who knows? You know, I would have thought that this week would have been nothing until it
Fair.
wasn't. You know,
Yeah, that's
so
true.
like, listen, it'll be a couple of slow weeks, but 2 weeks from now we get the developer live stream. 2 weeks after that is Singapore. 2 weeks after that is AMB. Easy peasy.
It's not 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks for the developer live stream because isn't it on Saturday?
Oh well, yeah, maybe three podcasts. No, well, sort of. 2 podcasts will pass before the development live stream because it's the day after the 2 podcasts from today.
Yes.
That one.
Yes.
15 days from today.
Yeah.
I'm not counting. Not at all.
Hey, I'm not
It's not
counting
common,
either. There's
guys.
100 days to the release of Stormlight 5. Not counting.
Oh god. There he goes again.
Hey, dude. I don't know if you saw, but Brandon Sanderson did it again.
What does that mean?
Well, he did a Kickstarter and it crushed all expectations.
I'm gonna kick you.
He
right
said,
now.
"Hey guys, I want to make this tabletop RPG. Can I have $250,000?" And then
Tabletop RPG.
And then the community said, "Hey, Brandon, what if we gave you $14.6 million?"
Jesus.
And he said, "Well, that'll do it."
That's a bit. That's a bit of dollars.
Yeah. So I will be DMing a lot of Stormlight Archive tabletop RPG
That's
come
good.
next year.
That's cute.
Or
I don't know a
whatever it is.
goddamn thing about it, so I can't help
Hey.
you.
You don't need to,
I can't read.
but you can sit at the table and play.
Yeah? Maybe. Hey, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, Cronin is gonna have to
Because he's read the books.
because he's read the books and he's the one that.
Well, maybe by
I
then
was talking to him
he'll
about
be
it.
allowed to leave the house. Because, you know, his child will be...
No, we just go to
small.
his house.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, he's got like a little cave in the basement.
Yeah, I heard. I want to see his
He's
cave.
got a little cave. I haven't seen it either. I've been outside of Sean Cronin's house, but I've never been inside.
I've been outside of his house a singular time, and that was to shoot our curse video.
You get those Jedi robes.
Yeah.
We get to talk about that today as well. I got the heads up from the boss.
Oh.
Mm.
Interesting.
I don't have the card. I just we can, announce that we have one.
Oh, okay.
It might be this weekend though.
I hope
that we see it. All right, you ready to go, Steve? We got a lot to talk about, so I don't want to dilly-dally too long. Keep these people waiting.
Let's get into it.
Hey, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining us live. We appreciate it.
Welcome. Every Friday,
noon.
Yeah.
EST, asterisk. We are here to shoot the show live, and you get this pre-ramble and post-ramble of the show only if you watch it live, technically. I mean, you can watch the VOD later, but I unlist them after I post the podcast.
Yeah.
Which I'm almost caught up on.
Yeah, there's like 2 more.
I got a couple. There's one that is scheduled already. That is going to go live at 2. It's not last week's. It's the week before last, but it will go live.
Oh, so then we're
2 p.m.
we're 1 down then.
We're 1 down, yeah. So I'm just 1 behind. So I'll upload 2 again this week, and then we'll be up to date. I'll finally get that fucking Silidar the interview at the door, and then we'll be good.
Yeah.
Then I'll be good on my editing pipeline. All right. No. Well, one of us did, being Trenton. Will be there.
Trenton Bollinger will be in Singapore.
And thank God, that man, just doing me the world's biggest.
Cam's gonna owe Trent like $10,000 by the time he comes back from Singapore.
That's why I had to sell those dungeon guides, dude. I needed I needed Gong Wing artist proof money. All right. Hey, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, you ready? Are you ready? Whoop whoop. Shout
whoop
out.
whoop.
Shout out to our man, Superhuman. If you ever want to be on the show.
If you ever want to be on the show, just let us know. Yep. Contact our people. Your people contact our people.
Our people will set it up.
Our people set it up.
We'll set up a nice lunch date.
Me.
Whoop whoop. Fuck this
whoop,
shit.
Whoop. Fuck this shit.
All right.
For all the juggalettes and juggalos out there.
When are we gonna stop? Never.
It'll never happen.
Hope you guys like that joke because it's not going anywhere. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lineage Break, a Grand Archive TCG podcast. I am your host, Cam. With me, as always, is Gluey Steven. Hello, Steven.
Hello, all. Hello, Cam.
Okay. Hi, Steven.
How are we?
I'm doing well. We have an exciting show today, Steven.
Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about, and we wouldn't have thought so. That's
yeah. I was saying what are we gonna do? And then Bell posted that thing that we're gonna talk about later on in the episode, and I immediately sent it to Cam like, hey, look, we have something to talk about,
dude. Did you know that there's lore for Grand Archive?
What?
Who would have thought, right? Because we haven't seen it in 9 months or something.
It's wild. Yeah. It's good, too. There's a lot in it.
Mm-hmm. It's meaty. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. But
before that,
yeah, we have some other stuff. Some news. Some newsy news to go over. We are still in that pre-AMB season. Spoiler season has not started yet, but 2 weeks from now, 15 days from recording, we do have our developer live stream where we will get all of the juicy details about our champions, and I assume the content creator spoiler season will be announced. We are happy to announce that we will be doing a spoiler for Grand Archive. We do not have it yet, but our spoiler will be on September 21st. It's like a week. It's the Saturday after the developer live stream, and so we're very excited. We feel very, very grateful to be chosen once again by the GA team, so thank you very much, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully it's a good one.
We always love making those videos too.
Yeah.
It's like our favorite thing to do for the show.
And we don't know what we're doing yet. Usually we take a look at the card and we try to make it like
themed,
maybe a little bit thematically appropriate to what the card is. So we'll see what the card is, and that will dictate what our cursed meme skit looks like. But
it's also time of year, so like
we don't have a holiday.
It's not
really.
Like a holiday.
Yeah,
like every other one,
holidays.
We've kind of like filmed around a holiday. Like
we do love holidays, but like the last one,
like our FTC one was Halloween, which was so cursed.
Really good. That one was really good. I think that's the one I'm the most proud of. That was our ALC.
ALC. Oh, ALC. Yeah.
But like last time, we did May the 4th, which is not a real holiday.
Yeah, but I think that's my favorite because I'm not the cursed one on that.
Yeah. Well, I just mean that like maybe there is a holiday that is not a real holiday that is around our.
Oh yeah, we could look.
Right, like it could just be some cursed day on the September 21st National Pretzel Day or something.
And then there's pretzels everywhere.
Yeah, right. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So yeah, we were very excited to do that. We have not seen the card yet. So we can't even tease that it's like, oh my god, it's a busted or broken card. We don't know. We don't know what our card is yet. So we will find out maybe soon. But aside from that, a couple of things that we have to cover before we get into the meat of our episode. If you guys did not catch it this week, as we mentioned, there was a lore article released called Regaling Regalia. Regaling Regalia. So we're going to talk about it today. I have a whole list of notes. We're gonna go through some things, try to find some spicy references.
Read between the lines. As they say.
As we do. But before we do that, first of all, there was a I don't even want to say that it was an announcement. It was very strange. We got a clarification on prize cards that we didn't think that we needed, which is interesting. So they announced a while ago that for Ascent Singapore, and I believe for Ascent Toronto as well, that the top 32 card for Path of Steel would be reprogrammed, which is still a card that we haven't seen. And so we're like, oh, it's a new card. It's like playable. Reprogram's a good card. Cool. We get it's sort of on that like same line as Exercise Curses, where it's like, it's fine. It's like, it's playable. It's not like super exciting, but it's a playable card. And if you want to play your prize cards, you will probably play it. We got a clarification this week that is not the case. Apparently reprogram was to be the top 32 card for silver at Singapore, because Singapore does have silver, right?
Yep.
And the top 32 card for Singapore and for Ascent Toronto is actually Academy Guide,
which is
pretty crazy.
Huge.
Yeah, I think obviously it's not a reprint that matters. It's not like it's going to help the supply of Academy Guides, but I think hopefully this is the norm going forward. I think this season is the first time with Lightweaver's Assault that we're getting these like staple SRs printed as prize cards. I think like obviously printing however many, I guess in this case 64 Academy Guides that are prize cards, it's not going to like affect the market, the price. So I like that you can print these like very good, very playable cards, because not only does it mean that they are worth more for people that want to sell them because they're like a playable card. There are psychopaths like me that want to put all of these CSRs into their deck. But it also is nice that you get that sort of playability aspect, that if you top 32 one of these events, it's way more likely that you will be playing a deck with something like Academy Guide than it is, something like Exercise Curses. So I hope, fingers crossed, that going forward, these like high level events like regionals and like Ascents will have hopefully staple SRs in that slot. Like Dungeon Guy would be sick. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know that they don't want to hurt the like promo equity of things, right? So like I assume that's why it's Academy Guide and not Dungeon Guide. Because we already have promo Dungeon Guides and we have like fancy versions of that, and so you don't want to like cheapen those. So Academy Guide is a card that currently only has one printing. So it's pretty cool to get a promo CSR version of that. So it's very exciting. We won't win them, but we'll look at other people win them, and that'll be cool. Woo! Speaking of
art,
Ascent Singapore.
Ooh.
And art. Correct you are, Stephen. Important for some people. Important for me. Very much. They announced the artists at Ascent Singapore. Now, something that I'm not going to air any grievances. No issues with... I see Bibu on your phone, and she's distracting me.
It's not my fault that you retweeted it.
I'm distracted. I've been lost in the Bibu sauce. Man, Where did I come from? Where did I go, Steven? I've
We're
lost it
talking
completely.
about art.
In Chicago, it was a little bit disappointing that there was no artists at Ascent Chicago. I assume that was sort of just a planning nightmare. But I am really happy to see that Ascent Singapore is going to have some guest artists. Hopefully Toronto will too. Hanchu, come to Toronto. I know she's Canadian. But the artists for Singapore have been announced, and their special playmats have been announced, which is super cool. So first is Pinax. They are going to be in Singapore, and we have a gorgeous reprint of Sudden Snow. Great art. They do great work. Always blown away by Pinax's art. So you can get Sudden Snow reprint, playmat exclusive, and of course they'll be there signing stuff. They made a post on Twitter about working on drawing on those blank tokens because they're a little bit hard to write on, I guess. They have a coating on them like most trading cards do, so they're trying to practice. And I didn't put two and two together that they posted that a week ago, and I should have been like, maybe that means they're going to an event. But it's oh, that's cool. Hopefully I see them somewhere. I won't see them because we're not going to Singapore. Also, huge for me is the second artist for Singapore is going to be Jubei, who unfortunately could not make it to Worlds, but they will be at Singapore. So anybody who missed Jubei at Worlds, you can find them at Singapore. And they will be bringing not only a very cool artist playmat featuring Kongming of undetermined art. I assume this is not champion art, just a card that has Kongming on it. But it has also been announced that Jubei is the artist for Kongming, which I've been waiting since her announcement to know. Who is the artist of Kongming? It is Jubei. And so that is very exciting for me. Thank God. Thank you to our bestest father, Trenton, who will be going to Singapore and will be delivering my wads of cash to Jubei for mats and artist proofs and stuff of Kongming. So it's very exciting. It's very cute.
Yeah, Cam is going bankrupt after this.
It's really tough. It's going to be a tough 6 weeks for Dad. But yeah, very exciting to have Kongming's artist finally announced. Woo. Who's Jin's artist?
Yeah, where's my Jin love? God,
let us know. Who's Jin's artist? Maybe they'll be in Toronto. Who knows?
That'd be fun.
Maybe we're spreading the love. I mean, obviously these artists are local, right? That is probably why there wasn't any in Chicago. It's hard to fly artists out, especially for Worlds makes sense. You can fly people across the world, right? For a Worlds event, but for something like an Ascent, it's not necessarily feasible to fly an artist across the world. So you want to find people that are somewhat local. And so hopefully, again, we find some people that are somewhat local to Toronto, some Canadian artists to bless us. But yeah, super, super exciting. Very excited to see Kongming stuff. This is important, though, that I've just realized now.
Oh. Nope. Get your hand away from me.
So in Singapore, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember Worlds?
I remember Worlds.
And they had artist proofs and stuff.
Yeah, they were all on the walls. Yeah.
Will Jubei have artist proofs of Kongming in Singapore because it is before the release of the set?
Probably no.
I don't know.
Unless we've already seen the card, maybe?
Maybe. So does that mean that perhaps we'll have seen her entire line by the 28th? Maybe. That would not be out of the realm of possibility.
Well, I would assume we're seeing... There's two champions. We're seeing their entire line on the 14th.
Maybe. I guess there's only two of them. So
right?
maybe we will just see the whole thing.
Yeah.
But that could be cool. It's coming up. We're going to know. Speaking of being a knower, Steven.
Yeah, I'm a doer.
I'm doing a lot of talking today. Help me.
What do you want?
I don't know. How you doing, Steven?
I'm doing all right. Just hanging out. But you get so excited about all this stuff, so I just let you go.
I know. I'm a talker.
Yeah, that's fine, right? It's okay. It's okay for you to be excited about the art. I'm not.
That's fucked up, Steve.
Steve,
that's fucked up.
I'm happy for everyone enjoying their Kong Mings, but like, where's my Jin love? I need to know what he does. I want to see more art for him. He's been getting neglected. Just like I am.
Neglected?
Yeah.
How many URs for Jin have we seen so far?
Oh, so cool. We've seen 2 URs, but look at all this art.
They both have art on those URs that have Jin in the art?
I don't think so. They're not Jin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
We're being neglected just because we've seen the cards. I want a Jin mat.
Yeah, well, maybe Toronto. We don't know who the artist is. Yeah, maybe it's Honshu. You know, she's right around the corner. Have her show up to Toronto.
I'm just saying.
I don't even know if that's true.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Kongmin's all right.
She's great. We're very excited. We love Jubei.
I do indeed love Jubei.
Figured out this week that Jubei is the first ever Grand Archive artist because they did the art on Honorable Vanguard.
Well, that's super cool.
The first Grand Archive art.
Pretty sure Jubei is also the new Tristan artist.
Yep, and Tenoris.
Yep.
Yeah, they do a lot. They do a lot.
Lots of good work.
Lots of good work and more to come. Yeah, somebody said in chat maybe it's Honshu that did Jin. That would be cool. She's Canadian.
Yeah.
Get her to jump over to Toronto.
Yeah, I would spend money.
Be pretty neat.
I'd drop money.
It's really hard for me to like recognize artistic styles, because they're also like
different.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't even know that, like, obviously they're different, but like I'm not an artist, so I can't like discern how different they are.
Yeah.
I just like see pretty art. I'm like, wow, that's pretty.
Ooh.
I couldn't be like, this is this artist.
Right.
I wish I could, but I can't. So
it's almost
impossible. They all look really good.
Yeah. I just sit there and go, ooh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
They look pretty good. I like art.
Pretty girl.
You know what else I like, Steven?
What do you like?
I like lore.
Ooh.
You like lore, Steven?
I'm a big book guy, so yeah, I do like lore.
I'm like, I think really excited to have lore to talk about.
Yeah, me too.
So I think,
and then it's not just like us reading flavor text on cards and trying to discern what's happening.
Yeah, like I'm a big Dark Souls fan. I know you are too.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't want to be getting my storytelling that way. I don't want to have to read.
I don't want to have to like run up and read other people's notes on the ground because they don't explain things.
Right. So it's very exciting to have lore, but I'm a bit shocked about the lore that we got, which is cool. It's not what I expected it to be. When so anybody who's not familiar with the inner workings at Weeps of the Shore, because we're way too deep into the trenches of Grand Archive. Recently they hired Belle, who is their new head of storytelling and lore. I'm not sure what her official title is, but so they've hired Belle to do some world building and the stuff like what we're going to talk about today to flesh out the Grand Archive world a little bit. And I think it's a really cool setting that they've created, but up until now it's been pretty slim as far as lore goes. We got like a couple of character introductions. We got a couple for Sylvie, we got a couple for Lorraine, and this was like 9 months ago or something. And we've gone through now 4 sets that we've gotten like passing notions about what's going on.
We got a little bit on like the Obliviate and Vanitas,
right? But
like not too much.
Yeah, you can sort of like read between the lines to figure out what's happening in FTC and in Alchemical Block, but it's nice to have some direct things to talk about. And so today, we're going to be talking about Regaling Regalia, like we said earlier, which is, before we get into the meat and potatoes, is an interesting bit. It is a lore article about 2 characters that I guess maybe other people did that are smarter than me, but that I didn't realize existed, which is odd. So it's about Proxia, who we've seen mentioned a couple of times. Proxia from Proxy's Vault, and Luxera is, I sort of always assumed was like a place, or maybe like some sort of related to the Korhazi, some sort of like iconography or whatever, but is indeed a person. So it is a story about Proxia and Luxera, who are both on the homeworld and have ascended to godhood and are doing, godly things.
Well, one of them is.
True.
One of them is being a menace.
Yeah, we do love a menace. But so if you guys haven't read it, make sure that you do. We're going to spend some time. I have a whole list of notes talking about the article and some like things that we picked up on, some interesting like points of conversation. But of course, if you haven't read it already, make sure you read it before we do all the spoiling and tell you all the cool stuff that's in this article. But yeah, really cool. It's an article about Proxia, who is sort of secluded and keeps to herself and works on these artifacts for people. That is obviously what we see in Proxia's vault, being visited by a friend, and her friend Luxera, being a more adventurous type, is sort of regaling her of her adventurous tales of world hopping and stuff like that. But there is some stuff that I think is interesting to talk about that sort of reads between the lines of the article. Some like references are cool. We can talk about some references in the article, but also some things that are like interesting points that since we have sort of like tertiary lore for Grand Archive already, there's a couple of things that they touch on that sort of expand like notions that we've been given before but don't have like full context
right.
for. So I ordered my my bits and bobs in order as they appear. So if you guys want to follow along as I monologue, of course, Steve, is there anything that you want to talk about, Steve, before I start monologuing at you again? I'm a monologuer.
Well, not really. Like, I just want to get into the discussion of this.
Get into the potatoes.
Right. I want to be the meat, and you're the potatoes.
Okay. All right, I'll be the potatoes. All right, it's potato time. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that they describe in the sort of introduction of these two characters, Proxia and Luxera, they give a description of both of them. Luxera's is a little bit harder to like pinpoint. She's like sandy blonde, but it says that she sort of adopts whatever the attire is of the place that she's exploring. So she's a little harder to like point a finger at. But they make a point of saying that Proxia, being sort of like shut in and like hikikomori or whatever, always dresses herself the same when she has to go out in public. And so I think it is important for all of you and for us to sort of like internalize that description, because like maybe it's just for flavor and they're like, here's a cool description, but this is the sort of thing that points to me. It's like, maybe this character will like show up in card art and you just like won't notice. Maybe they're already in card art and I can't think of it, but it is like a very detailed description of Proxia that I will read for all of you here. Proxia is described as wearing a flowing gown of sparkling twilight navy with a cinched bodice of gossamer silk. On top, she casts a heavy mantle of aubergine velvet, mostly to obfuscate her eyes and unkempt hair. It's like a purple cloak wearing a like velvet mask that hides most of her face and her hair. Mm-hmm. That I can't like really think of
any art that
shows that, but we'll keep an eye out just in case she like shows up in some art and stuff.
Like nascent purification.
No, that's a different girl altogether. The new one, the like Cleric card. Yeah. I can't think of any purple gowned ladies that might show up. I was thinking maybe it was something on like Apotheosis, right? I can't remember the girls on Apotheosis.
I think they're all in white. Like
yeah, right. But yeah, definitely interesting. They describe Luxera as like sort of a sandy blonde, short idiot, but it's like we said, she sort of adapts to wherever she is. So
she could just be Korhasi Outlook.
Right, like for all we know, who knows, right? But yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
Did spend time with the Korhasi.
They also refer to, in this sort of introduction of these characters to get a feel of who we're talking about, they refer to their sort of like godhood status. They say that in the opening to this article as well, that they're like two friends that defied all odds to ascend to godhood. And there's a quote from Proxia that I think is really interesting to talk about. that says, you really ought to be more careful. We're not just champions anymore, and it won't sit well with the others if they found out, referring to Luxera doing some world hopping and some exploring on her own. So this sort of furthers something that we've heard out a little bit in regards to Revelfest, which I have a note on later, but that these people were once champions, so they were like all of the champions that we play in Grand Archive, that did something, defied some sort of odds, whatever that means, to ascend to godhood and sort of take a place at a higher form of being, whatever that means, some extra amount of power. But also that they're meant to be sort of like secretive, because it says that the other people would be upset if they found out that Luxera was world hopping and like showing herself more than they should, which sort of falls into that like normal pantheon thing, right?
Right.
Don't spend too much time among the normal humans.
So in like, I don't know, it kind of matters here. So I'm gonna put a little pin right here. Do you think we'll ever see a god as a card?
Yeah, I think it's a sort of interesting point.
Like level 4.
Maybe.
Ascend to god.
Right. Yeah, maybe. I worry about it from like a power level concern to keep things like lore accurate, right? And so it's a lot easier to dabble with these champions that are not literally, godlike, right? But I think it would be cool. And that is that's a good point, Stephen. That's something I want to circle back around on.
Okay, because I was going to say, I could see it being like a divine relic, right?
Sure, that gives you some sort of...
No, like the level 4 per se.
Oh, sure, like takes up your divine relic slot, sure.
Yeah, like you have to give it up to be able to
be level 4.
Right.
And, like, even if those champions are sort of absurdly powerful, I guess Dungeon Guide's always a problem.
Right.
But, like, level 4 is, like, pretty hard to attain. So, maybe.
Yeah,
I think that would be cool.
Just thinking.
Yeah.
Just thinking outside the box.
So, after that, Luxera is being a menace, like you said. She's a bit of a menace.
Yeah, we love a menace girl.
And she's, like, messing with stuff and touching things that she shouldn't, like, a kid in a candy shop or whatever.
Right.
But we do get a description of an item, which I think is potentially interesting. Sort of the big copium that I'm going to be huffing this afternoon, and not even like specifically for me. We'll get to that later. But is that this Proxia's like article is ahead of the ban list on Monday. The ban list on Monday. Before we're just going to take a quick aside. I think a lot of us, myself and Steve included, are sort of on the page that this ban list exists to ban Korhazi Outlook. They wanted to make sure that they moved to Category 2 before they moved to Category 3. However, that feels kind of bad, especially for like people that are a fan of that card. Who are you? That card's awful. Stop it. But they've made a point of making Proxy's Vault supposed to be like a positive spin on negative events. So I think it would make a lot of sense if with this ban list where we get Korhazi Outlook upped to Category 3, we also get a new Proxy's Vault card. And so that sort of is why I assume this article came out now, is sort of a preamble to Proxy's Vault. So the item that is described that Luxera is fiddling with is a starry ornament hanging from a post with the swing of a stick. She gets hit on the back of her hand. And then a few sentences later, Proxia like stows it in her cloak, but it is described as a wand. So some sort of wand with a starry ornament on top. I'm not going to point any fingers, but
there's only one.
That sounds like one starry idiot to me. Is all I'm
one
saying.
starry idiot that doesn't do anything right now.
That likes wands or whatever. I don't know. Just saying. Just wanted to put a pin in that one. Little copium. Back to our lore bits. So in this same breath that we're talking about, they're like godly status and Luxera doing some hopping. Luxera says something in regards to Revelfest, which I think is quite interesting because that's I think a large part of Grand Archive that we haven't really gotten fleshed out what exactly that means. We got like a little description when they announced it the first time, but so Luxera says, "Don't worry, if someone challenges you at the next Revelfest, I'll show them the real power of a god. I owe you one anyway." So when they announced Rebelfest, they said that it's sort of a like festival where champions can challenge gods for their seat. So sort of like, I challenge you to a duel. If I win, I take your godhood and assumingly strip you of yours. But in recent memory, nobody really does that, and it's sort of just like, everybody have fun, and like, sure, a champion could challenge somebody, but like they never do. But this note from Luxera obviously confirms that champions can challenge gods for their godhood, or at least I don't know if it's like a direct exchange. That part is unclear. If it's like you strip them of theirs and you take their seat, or you just like also join this pantheon, is a little bit unclear. But so it sort of tells us that that is how that works, but B, that this is also like somewhat regular in that it's something that is likely enough that it comes up in casual conversation, that they're like, oh, don't worry, if somebody challenges you, I'll be your champion or whatever. Assumingly not all gods are great at fighting. I assume Proxy is not the fighting type, so she might need to name someone champion in her stead. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Hopefully when Rebelfest comes around, which I think is supposed to be this month, but we haven't really heard anything about it. We'll get a little bit more background in that. But that is what I wanted to circle back around to, is that I think it would be a cool way to like meld the lore with the game, is that during Rebelfest, if there was some sort of like community event which decides which champion challenges godhood or whatever, and if they're successful, they maybe get, some sort of...
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Godly status would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the place to do it, because apparently that's the place where you do it.
Maybe. I had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's their way of LLing.
It's our living legend, yeah.
Yeah, a champion, where it's like, because we don't actually have like a rotation or whatever.
Yep.
But it's a way to like, this champion's been around for too long. They've ascended to godhood. You can't play it anymore.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be cool too. I'm a big referring to Flesh and Blood's rotation system. I'm a big fan of that, should it become necessary, sort of way to, if we do stay in this like legacy format forever, to sort of rotate heroes that are maybe too powerful. I think at this point we don't have anybody that I really feel is at risk of that, but there are definitely some things that could go wrong. Characters like Rai are always a concern with the text printed on their card. I think that's interesting. It's cool to hear about Rebelfest. Hopefully we hear a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that Luxera calls Proxia a tsundere here, and I thought that was cute.
Anime is anime.
So does this mean
canon?
Well, I don't think it's canon. I think just that means that Luxera has been to our world and is a fan of anime.
True. She is a
world
weeb.
Hopper.
Yeah.
She is a hop in worlds.
Yeah. No, current Earth. That's fair. That's a fair point. All right, moving on. We have a couple of the next few things to talk about are all references to Grand Archive things that maybe you've picked up on if you're a big Grand Archive fan. So the first is in reference to Scepter of Lumina. We hear Luxera say that Scepter that you made last time was a huge hit, and describes that it was a hit with some local god that has a ice dragon as their guardian, and there's a conversation about how cute this ice dragon is. And also that, quote, the keeper was adorable too, but her personality sure was far from it, which is talking about our girl, Lunette, Frostbinder Apostle from Cambria. And so that's cool to sort of touch on, obviously, Scepter of Luna, which now we know was made by Proxia and was a big hit, which is, funny. Obviously, it was very, very popular with the player base, so it's a cute nod at that. And, of course, a nod to Lunette. I think it would be cool to learn who that is, because Lunette is not a god. She's like a priest, right? But whoever she works for, whatever this Frostbind god is with the Guardian Ice Dragon, would be pretty sweet. So let us know. After that, now that we've learned that Luxera has been doing some returning to Cambria, we have an interesting bit about Luxera's map. As we mentioned earlier in the show, didn't assume that Luxera was a person who dropped this map, that it was, maybe something bigger than that, but it turns out it was just a map that belonged to Luxera that we see in Luxera's map. So Proxia asks her if she found that map that she lost or if she still needs to get a new one. And she says, quote, "Shoot, I almost forgot about that. When they got their hands on the map that I dropped, they definitely knew I wasn't just a normal member of the Korhazi. I had to leave it in a hurry, just in case because of that. I didn't really get a proper look at how they've developed since the last time I visited. I wanted to see if any of the gang was still kicking," she pouted. "I was hoping to tease them for getting old." So, Luxera, big old dummy, drops her map in Cambria.
A godly artifact.
Right. And so that's why you see in the art of both of the arts of Luxera's map, it's somebody that's like, it's a map of the globe, assumingly Cambria, that like they all seem like pretty shocked by. They're like holding it up and it's making a big globe move. Oh, yeah. Because obviously they didn't make it and they don't know where the fuck it came from. So that's a cute nod to, of course, the card Luxera's map. But something that's also interesting here is the way that she talks about the Korhazi, and says that she's not a normal member of the Korhazi. She wanted to see if any of the gang was still kicking and tease them for getting old. So I think this is like a possible origin story for where Luxera comes from. Mm-hmm. Maybe Cambria was
her homeworld or something,
or assumingly the world that she first came to as a champion, and maybe where she ascended to godhood was at Cambria.
Oh, okay.
And I think this sort of nods to like referring to the gang. Maybe there was people in the Korhazi that were there when she was there initially. But obviously she's ascended to godhood and has not aged, but they have aged since then, and so she wants to tease them for getting old. So that does sort of make sense with the Luxum sort of connection here to Luxera. Obviously the same like root word. Luxum in Cambria is all about the Korhazi, and it seems like she has this
maybe she's like one
affinity with the Korhazi.
Like a progenitor, like she was like in the original group of Korhazi.
Yeah, so I wonder, this adds a sort of like weird wrinkle that I don't think that they've really touched upon. When we're talking about these advanced elements, the developers, like Silidar said a couple of times, that it sort of depends on the world in which ley lines are active.
Right.
But it's unclear if the like pantheon of gods have anything to do with that, because Luxera is so closely tied to Luxum, the advanced element. I'm not sure if that means that like gods in the pantheon have a sort of advanced element that they are attached to. Maybe not necessarily, but maybe it can be. Like Luxera is obviously very much attached to this Luxum element. Does she have something to do with when that Luxum ley line is active, or is that just like completely unrelated? I think that is interesting.
Could it also be like champions that have an affinity for said ley line, that it boldens that when they become a god?
Sure.
So it like awaken, like the ley line is present there.
Sure.
But when they awaken to the god, it makes it widely open for more people to access it.
And maybe that's why ley lines are active. We really don't know how wide the pantheon is. So like that could be the case. It could be that Cambria has these 4 advanced elements because of the people that had ascended there or whatever. I think it's an interesting connection that we have. It might just be coincidental.
Right.
But it is something that is interesting to talk about. Last but not least on our list of references of things in Grand Archive, Proxia takes Luxera into her sort of like antechamber where she does all of her tinkering. It's behind like a big mirror that disappears into the wall or something, some fancy illusionary magic that keeps this hidden workshop. And she describes what she's done sort of as this prolific artifact maker. She's got like a long list of commissions that she takes, and even it mentions that like even godly figures aren't above trying to like send her gifts and stuff to appease her just to get her to do these commissions because she's so good at these like dream weaving artifacts. And she describes that lower ranked champions always requested a weapon, but after one particularly avaricious request, she grew bored of tempering and sharpening blades and sought to craft more intricate and provocative artifacts, which is obviously a nod to Sword of Avarice,
yeah.
which apparently you can all, anyone who thinks Sword of Avarice is a problem, you can blame Proxia. She's the one that made it, apparently. For assumingly Lorraine? Calling Lorraine a low-ranked champion as well. Get fucked, nerd. Assumingly. Maybe Sword of Avarice was made for somebody before Lorraine, and Lorraine just ended up with it. Yeah. But and it also interesting that so Proxia and Luxera are friends, right? Luxera obviously has this deep connection with Cambria. And now we have this nod that Proxia has made Sword of Avarice, which was also found on Cambria. So maybe they were together when they sort of, first set out as champions, maybe to Cambria.
Yeah, so maybe Proxia is a crux.
Maybe. It's a little bit tough. I wonder if they're all put into a box, right? Because Proxia, assumingly, has made everything in Proxia's vault, and if that's the case, she does also, make things for other elements, like the signet or the insignia of the Krazi, right? It's a Luxem card. So yeah, it is interesting. I wonder if she maybe has an affinity towards one, or
isn't Crux the? Oh no, that's a Neos. Neos is the.
Yeah, the element of creation, right, would make sense. I agree, Stephen, but who knows? Interesting, but yeah. So it seems like these girls maybe, cut their teeth in Cambria. Proxia talks a little bit about not understanding playing favorites either, so that sort of alludes to her having been to Cambria but having less of an affinity for it than Luxera does. The last bit that we have to talk about, God, I'm talking so much. Thanks for bearing with me, chat. Is twofold. So we have a whole paragraph, and I've copy pasted the whole thing because it's all very important, but we're going to break it into two parts. So this final stinger that they give us at the end of this lore article, of course, you got to end with the cliffhanger, right? Is Luxera explaining to Proxia about her recent adventures in world hopping, and what do you want me to talk about? Here are all the things. And so the first thing is Luxera describing some worlds that she's been to that are not worlds that we've been to at all. So all new material, and maybe these are just one-off cool things to talk about, or they could be potentially future places that we go to that are maybe in the sort of ethos or the developmental sphere of the dev team that they're maybe thinking about going to. So it says, quote, "Where to start? Do you want to hear about how a world almost collapsed because of an artifact created by its gods, factions fighting to become king, not even knowing the rule imposed on the world that requires sacrifice in exchange for power? Or how about a world where a portal was created reflecting the very soul of the world, where heroes are forced to face their greatest opponents themselves?" So we get a nod to two different places here, one of which some artifact has been created by the local gods, not these sort of Grand Archive ascended godhood people, but local to this world, whatever god figures they have.
Can I make a guess? This is Sanguo.
Maybe.
I think so. Because they're fighting for an artifact to become king. And I believe in Sanguo, it's very based off the Three Kings, where the Imperial Seal was an artifact created to make the king immortal. I think it's obvious.
I think you are dead on here, Stephen. So yeah, maybe this is talking about Sanguo and references sacrifice in exchange for power, which could be interesting for our future in Mortal Ambition. Which also, ties into the name, right? Mortal Ambition. That's seek for immortality, but the sort of double-edged sword that you have to make a sacrifice of probably your life to gain this power, right?
Right.
Very interesting. And then secondly, we have a bit about a world where a portal has been created that is a reflection of the world itself, and you have to fight cursed mirror versions of yourself, which also could be interesting. I don't know how they would do that mechanically, but that is very interesting that you get we're Kingdom Hearts fans, right? Get your heartless versions of you or whatever.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'm into it.
Maybe we get Kingdom Hearts World.
Don't even.
Not literally, but
no, I know.
literally. So yeah.
And now for the bit.
All right, now listen. This is not a bit. Okay, this is not a bit. I think that this is very clear. What it means is where the copium comes in, right? But we will get over the facts, and then we'll move on to the copium after that. All right. So the facts.
Okay.
This last bit of this quote from Luxera says, "Oh, you know what? I just remembered one that you'll definitely be interested in. It's about this champion that went to Azoth. I think I've talked about her before. She's always coming up with some crazy contraptions, but this time it's really good." So this is obviously in reference to Arisana. There are only 2 champions that went to Azoth that we know of, and it's Arisana and Diana. Diana is not a cursed tinkerer that makes contraptions. Ari is. So they're obviously talking about Arisana. Exciting.
Here it is.
So
it's really good.
It's really good. It's like it's in italics and bold.
And really is bold.
Yeah, bold and italics. It's really good. It's not overcooked. You wrote this article, Roger. Stop it. All right. So I think there's two options here. Option A, which is I think the peak copium. We'll start at the top of the copium.
You
move down.
You start at the bottom. Right?
Okay. All right. We'll start at the bottom.
It
was a feed for dream. Yeah, that's fair. All right. So we'll start at the bottom. This is like the most likely. Yeah. This is a reference that we're setting up for ALC Alter in January, and Ari will get some new cards, and these cards will be good or whatever. Right. And this is what Luxera is talking about. I went over to Azoth after, this is assumingly present day, and after all of the things that happened to Mercurial Heart. It's like, oh, I saw Ari was working on some shit, and it's real good. And then we get it in ALC Alter, and that's the thing that makes the most sense. Reasonable. The peak copium is that we're getting an Arisana Proxies Vault card that comes out on Monday with the ban list.
Right. However,
yeah,
and we've been talking about it all day. And I'm gonna pop your bubble.
You're popping my bubble.
Presumably, every Proxies Vault card has been made by Proxia.
Yep.
Proxia does not know about this thing Ari's supposedly has.
Well,
that's really good.
She's learning about it right now.
Right. So why would it be a Proxies Vault card if Proxia didn't make it?
So we see in this article that every time Luxera tells a story to Proxia makes some sort of remembrance of it to cement these stories that she's been told, or she uses it to influence some of her future designs. So it is possible that she uses this story that Luxera tells her to make something in that vein that is, according to Luxera, obviously very interesting to her. She says, oh, you'll find this interesting.
Right.
Let me tell you about this cursed contraption that this dummy has made. And then maybe she wants to make one of her own. But I agree that it is less likely that that is the case. And I think it is more likely, if we're getting a Proxies card, that it's this like ornament that they talk about. But that doesn't have to be for Ari. It could be for whoever.
Right. I'd also like to point out that it's not exactly this verbiage, but they do bring up a fact that Proxies Crystal of Remembrance, or Proxies Crystal or Remembrance Crystal or whatever.
Yeah. She makes these like big tapestries that are made out of crystal or something, and they describe the things that Luxera has told her.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems a very interesting phrase of words to add. I could see this becoming a regalia in the future.
Maybe. So definitely interesting.
Yeah.
So that's all of our copium. That's it. Roger, Bell, let us know how we did. Did we miss anything? Tell us if there's any hidden secrets in there. Did we go too far? Are we too deep in the weeds?
I think we're too deep because Roger did say overcooked.
I was up until 5 a.m. Taking copious notes. Yeah. So that's how we feel. We love lore. Thank you guys for writing it. It was a wonderful read.
It was great, and I
hope we get more in the future.
And I hope I get to see what Luxera looks like soon, because I'm in love with her already.
Yeah, so I wonder if we'll see them on cards. I think that's also very interesting that they become these like. I think it would be cool. Something that I think would be really neat. That here's my idea for you, and I promise I won't sue you, Weebs of the Shore, if you want to take this. I think it would be cool that anytime we get a Proxies Vault card, that we get something like this. I think it would be really cool if the way that they introduce the Proxies Vault card is this. That, like, here's your lore article. We're catching up with Proxy and Luxera. They're making shit. You read through the article. At the bottom of the article is the new Proxies Vault card. You know, I think would be really cool. I think it's cool to, like, flesh out these characters and give them more stage time. And I always really like when you sort of, for lack of better words, force the player base to interact with your lore, right? Where it's like a lot of the lore in all of these card games you can just like holistically ignore, but I like when it's sort of folded into the development process. So like, we get the new Proxies Vault, and sure, you can scroll to the bottom of the article, but you do like have to click on this lore article, and assumingly you should read it, and then at the bottom it gives you the new card. I think it's really cool.
And I think it would be cool to see Proxia interact with other gods. Like, we learn about the other gods through this.
That are assumingly making commissions.
Correct.
It seems like she's quite popular. So, yeah, I think that would be cool too. We learn a little bit about, whoever ascended from wherever,
right,
and what cursed artifact they need to be made for God knows what reason.
Right. It'd be very interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. So, that's it. That's our lore.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. We did really enjoy it. We like talking about the bips and bobs. And we will see on Monday if we're correct about any bit of this.
Yeah, so when the Astra Proxies Vault card comes out,
you'll know.
Please DM Cam with his attaboys so he can feel good about himself.
Thank you. I think that would be quite good and needed.
I think it would be really good.
I think it would be really good. That's true.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but I think it's more likely that they're talking about ALC Alter.
Yeah.
But it's like so far away. Just give me an Ari card. She's suffering so bad.
It's 20 new cards, right?
Yeah.
All of them are Astra.
Please. Girl, she needs it.
They just ignore all the other champions from ALC and they're just like, here you go, Ari.
You can give Polcock some support. Our homie. That guy could use some cards.
Yeah, could he?
Make Calamity Cannon great.
There's a card that just says play Calamity. Oh, I guess I never thought about it, but you could like play Calamity Cannon and then fog, and then maybe it goes off.
Yeah. And then they blow up your gun. And you're like, oh, okay.
You just use Seeker's Rifle. Can't blow that one.
True. And then they cast Song of Frost. Yeah. So that was cool. It was good to be able to talk about some lore. Again, hopefully we get some more in the future, but that is why they hired Bell, is for stuff like this. So it's very exciting.
And it's good to see that hiring Bell immediately just blew it out of the water, right? Like, the bits of lore that we've gotten over the last like couple months has just been absurdly great.
Well, it's just way more too, right? Like
right.
we got for the first time on the product sheet of Ambi, we got it's like 3 paragraphs of lore about Tangua, which was written by Bell. I believe she wrote all of the like story bits, or at least most of them for Mortal Ambition. So hopefully we get some like plot. That's a thing that like really bothers me about like Fractured Crown and Mercurial Heart, is you can like sort of piece together what happens and be like, yeah, I think this is how this whole thing resolves, but like the whole plot of Grand Archive, like as a thing, is these champions are sent to these places in crisis, and they have to solve said crisis.
How did you do it?
We never know how it's solved or if it's resolved.
But how did Lorraine beat Merlin?
Whose grave is Sylvie sitting at in Gentle Respite? Like what's going on? Why is she so sad? So I'm hopeful that in Mortal Ambition we get like some semblance of what's going on. Like, oh yeah.
How did Tristan get off Cambria?
Yeah, right. Like, I did hear. I think that was in the. Oh my God! It's all in my brain. Nah, I'd win. Yeah, Lorraine says nah, I'd win. Yeah, it's like, and then solved. I think in the anniversary stream, Belle was asked about that, and I think she said that she was writing something for Tristan. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but I believe she was writing the lore for
I'd
Tristan.
love to see it. I'd win.
Man.
That's
I'd
good.
win. Yeah,
that's good.
I get it. They're a small team. It's we're asking for a lot. But,
right.
We're
sorry that we love your world so much
we're
that
like
we want to know everything
about your world, and we want to be able to.
I need 15 books
with
right now so I could read them all.
the books and the anime. Put you out of business because you spend all of your money making an anime, just like Force Will. That's
they aimed for too much anime movies.
Just one anime movie. How about that?
We just want one anime movie. Just Cambria, so we know how Merlin dies.
Right. No, I'd win. It's like 4 minutes long. It's nice and easy.
Merlin takes over, kills Uther, and then Lorraine walks in and goes, "Nah, I'd win."
Nah, I'm good.
And Merlin just explodes.
You can get out of here. Oh, okay. See you later. And then they print peaceful reunion, and you're like, oh, everybody's back together again.
Yeah.
Who's Sylvie so sad about? Is it Merlin? I don't. Who
Nah,
died?
it was Lorraine, but Merlin, right?
But Lorraine's not dead.
But it was Merlin as Lorraine, right?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I'm
all right. We're rambling too much. Hey, that's all we have for you guys this week. Hey, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. It was fun to talk about. Hopefully we get more opportunities to talk about the lore. Like we said before the show started, you give us one of these lore articles every week. We will cancel Lineage Break, and we will be a 100% lore-dedicated show, I promise. But until then, if you guys want to catch the show, you can catch us every week at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, *. You can also catch the last episode of the show up on YouTube in video-on-demand form at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday, *. This week, I do have one scheduled for 2 p.m., but it is not last week.
It's 2 weeks ago.
The week before that. But you can catch up in your own due time. Yeah. All right, I'm working on it. But
we're gonna be caught up.
We'll be
in
caught
like 2
up.
weeks.
I'm on top of it. Not really, but kind of.
He's doing it.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. I think next week. Next week we'll be here. We'll be here next week with nothing to talk about. So give us something to talk about. If you have topics for the show, let us know in the YouTube comments, and we will take those to heart. All right, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys.
Woo. Woo. Fuck this shit. Woo. We did it.
Every week.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We're talking about your work.
Yeah. Thank you for writing such great art.
Thank you for your lore. We like it. Thank you for talking about Arisana. I know you did that for me.
Yeah, we're talking about a World Hopper, so I had to wear my World Hopper shirt. Yes, Brandon Sanderson characters. Very indicative of what is happening in Grand Archive.
We like doing some world hopping. They're like planeswalkers. Is that how you get your spark? You have to ascend to godhood to get your spark? Is that what's going on?
Maybe.
That's how you do world. Well, I guess they do fucking world hopping anyway. I don't know how any of it works.
Well, maybe it's...
Where did Tristan come from? Why is Sylvie there? I don't. I guess I should reread the Sylvie lore.
Sylvie followed the rain to Cambria.
Yeah. I think she's from the homeworld, and she got like east side into Cambria.
Yeah,
and now she just lives there. She lives in the forest like a homeless person. Like I don't.
Yeah, she's friend to all animals.
Yeah. It's a crazy cat lady that lives in the forest. Yeah. She accidentally got shipped off.
She's not even a cat lady.
It's a squirrel lady. Sorry. A bird lady?
Oh, no. I was talking about... I thought you meant like she's a cat, but she's not. She just dresses like...
No, she's just a furry. I just mean she's like a cat lady. You know?
A
cat lady.
Yeah.
I'm a cat lady, so I get it.
If I could have cats, I would.
Yeah, Laura's good. Lady. Cat's good. I recommend it. Just like get over it. You know what they say about asthma, Steven? It's just an excuse for kids with no hustle. Oh. And so,
I'm not
get over your cat allergy.
I'm not allergic to cats. I just can't have them.
Oh, okay.
I was told I'm not allowed to have a pet.
Well, what are they going to do, though, you know?
Remove me from my homestead?
Details. You know what the details are that is important, Steven?
What?
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry as well.
What's for lunch? Chad, what are we eating for lunch?
Yeah, you guys tell us.
Tell me what we're eating.
Tell them it's hot dogs again.
The hot dogs weren't good.
No, they weren't.
They were like not good.
They were all right.
Yeah.
If they were warmer, they probably would have been better.
That's fair. Do sushi? I don't know.
I'm not really a sushi mood.
Devin. Yeah, I don't know if I can do the raw fish today.
Yeah, it's not. I could burger. You burger?
Yeah, where do you want to get a burger?
Five Guys?
Yeah, all right.
Wait, Mooyah?
No, Mooyah sucks.
Really?
Yeah, Five Guys fucks, though.
Okay. So do some Five Guys.
I do some Five Guys.
We're going to do burger steak.
Nice and easy, bro. We love that. Thanks, Steven.
Yeah, look at me. I'm making a decision. You're like you're stepping on the cord for my headset and it's pulling me down. Can you stop?
Oh, it's in between my legs. That's why. Fuck it. I'll fix it later.
Yeah. I like being pulled down.
Well, why don't you fix it, Steven? All right.
I'm trying to.
I gotta do everything around here. We just gotta tape it back to the fucking table. It'll be fine. But you can't pull it now because it's literally under my legs.
No,
just,
I understand.
Let it live.
I'm just trying to get some fucking girth, so I'm not like being choked down to the table.
I'm gonna choke you right now. All right.
Do it.
Anyways, hey, thank you guys for watching.
Devin's gonna get Five Guys too, so it'll be just like he's having lunch with us.
Right. Send us pictures. We'll FaceTime you.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I don't know. I was so excited to talk about the lore today, and we did it.
Yeah.
It's cool to talk about lore. I had so many notes.
I wish I could talk about more.
More lore. Yeah, it's true. But now I'm depressed. So now what do I do?
Is that a pop your bubble about Arizona?
No, because now I don't have anything to talk about. I got to wait till Monday and like hopefully be right.
And then
it's gonna be like BNR no changes. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, not even Korhazi outlook moves.
It's like, yeah, nothing.
This was a troll.
I was like, what? Why do this? But all right, now listen to me. We're back on the copium, right? Are you with me?
What is the copium?
If the plan was solely to ban Korhazi outlook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know their developmental process where they move things up the categories. I understand it. But if their plan was wholly to ban Korhazi outlook before Ascent Singapore, I think they would have just done it. You know? Why make a whole ban list?
Didn't we also, like a million years ago, still say that we were supposed to get a proxies?
He did say that. He did say that. That was on the anniversary stream.
Right.
That was pre-Mercurial Heart. He was like, maybe soon.
It makes everything points to it making sense that it is a.
I don't know what it is.
A proxy fault card. I'm not saying that it is.
I'm not saying it's an ARI card.
It's an ARI
but like we hopefully get a new tool. But who needs help, Stephen? Who? You know who.
H.
No, they don't. They get a whole set in 6 weeks. You know who needs help. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fire. Fire needs help.
Fire. Yeah, maybe, to be fair. Get like a wind scepter of Lumina or whatever, right? Who knows? Like it could be something like that, like a generic. It's for everybody. It's not for someone specifically. Right. It's reasonable, but
God, please don't print Wind Scepter of Lumina.
Well, not the same card. I just mean like a card in Wind that is helpful for Wind or for Fire, whatever.
Right.
You know, not Water. Water has theirs, right?
Yeah.
Maybe another Water one. Who knows?
A Crown of Lumina just does the same thing.
But yeah, I think if they were just gonna ban Korhazi outlook, they just would have done it.
Yeah.
Like why go through the whole rigmarole if you're like, well, I mean, we should move it up category, so we'll make another ban list in 6 weeks and then we'll just move it. Which, like, sure, but like it's gonna feel really bad if that's all. It's like, here's our whole ban list. It's just to fuck this Korhazi outlook that you saw coming.
Maybe they just ban that and Erupting Rhapsody and then be like, get fucked.
Well, sure. I just think it would be a good time to have a little bit of a positive spin.
Yeah.
Especially, post this Sylvie Menace era. We need a little bit of a positive spin in our BNR, I think.
Yeah.
But that's all copium, so we'll see.
They just print Plague Engineer as a regalia.
For slimes. It's not even Plague Engineer, it's just Slime Engineer. It's like all of your slimes.
Slime Engineer is already a card, isn't it?
No, that's engineered slime.
Oh, okay.
I mean the man that made him. Who engineered the slime? Oh. He can engineer the plague. He knows. Yeah. Diana Enjoyer. Diana is like not good right now, but I don't think she needs support.
I don't think she's
like the deck is still good. It's just like not favored in the meta.
Right.
Like
and I mean, like you look at it, like people have won with it. Yeah, maybe not the fire version, but like Wind.
She's got the tools. She's just
Wind and Water Diana have been doing stuff. Mm-hmm. So
she's just not always going to be good.
Yeah.
That's okay. good to ebb and flow, right?
Right.
You don't want your deck to always be good.
Right.
Because then
Like,
it's
look
a
at
problem.
Xander. He got outclassed by every.
But also, look at Xander, like DOA. He's
Right.
unplayable. And then he
Right.
went to, like, the best deck in the format for a long time.
Right.
And then he's back down.
Right.
You know, like a roller coaster, chat. All right. Well, I don't know. You wanna order some food?
Yeah, we're gonna order some
We can
food. We'll
outta
get out of here, and we'll see you guys next Friday.
Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next Friday. Hopefully, we'll have a new Proxies Vault card to talk about.
And if it is an Astra card, please spam cam.
You're going to be getting so many, like, this is the only time I'm going to, like, sit down. I'm going to take my entire day off to, like, edit shorts, and it's all going to be about how right I am.
Well, I mean, you know what they
Or
say.
wrong, you know. Yeah.
You know what they say.
Broken clock.
No, Lineage Break's always right.
Oh, yeah, that is true. We are always right.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, good night, guys. I'm going to sleep now. 1 p.m., time for bed. We will see you next week. Kisses. Oh, no. Jesus, I ran into Blanche. Please, ma'am.